Hi everyone, how's it going? So, long story short, I wanted to come online and talk about Angie Stone. Rest in peace to her. Also, rest in peace to Michelle Trachtenberg. Rest in peace to Roberta Flack. Rest in peace to Dwayne Wiggins of Tony, Tanae. Um, Rest in peace to Gene Hackman. There are so many people that have died this month, but then again, it's eclipse season. During eclipse season, there are usually people that die more than normal, like already, like because it's the eclipse season. And then there are those that are quite obviously celebrity sacrifices. And that brings me on to Angie Stone, right? I really should be talking about this on Empress Justice Tarot because there's mysticism all over this shit. But the reason why I'm talking about this on here is because, first of all, this gets more traffic and I want as many people to see it as possible. Second reason is that gang stalking is heavy all over this. So that's why it's here instead of on Empress Justice Tarot or Empress Justice Astrology. I really want people to pay attention to what I'm about to say. And even though my words are going to be quite casual and my delivery is going to be quite casual, there is going to be important information here that people need to pay attention to. Now, first off, rest in peace to Angie Stone. What I'm about to say first is an opinion, so I'm gonna put up timestamps, so don't worry about it. My opinion is that Angie has done. She did so many people a solid. She had no idea how many lives she potentially saved, how many people she potentially protected by telling the truth the way she did. Angie Stone was not ambiguous about it. She laid it out in a logical fashion. She was not mystical or mysterious or making vague symbology like you tend to do when you're tortured. She was very clear cut. She was educated. She had knowledge when she delivered her message. And she was very, very direct to the point that now that she is dead, if people are choosing not to acknowledge the truths that she laid down, at that point, they're revealing themselves as people. Angie Stone revealed the truth so big and so bold, so big and so bold that there was no mistake what she meant. None. So this is the thing now. Now that, when she told the truth about how she wasn't being paid or how she was being stolen from by UMG before she died, she deliberately intended that if anything happened to her, that everybody else who was invested in it would investigate further and they would start telling the truth. But it's funny how when the very thing that she wanted to happen is happening, now people are saying, think of the family. No, what? No, you won't even think of families that are right in front of you. You want to think of the family of somebody that you don't know because there are truths that you don't want to hear. Think of the family. No, you're thinking of yourself. The same UMG that set up this very entertaining, but very fake beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. The same UMG that set up this beef deliberately to have black people of different nations at each other's throats, black and white people at each other's throats. Peep the fucking game. The same UMG that had this beef, having one another at each other's throats, right? Is the same UMG that killed Angie Stone, that sacrificed Angie Stone. Wake the fuck up. She was telling people how Clive Davis and Arista and UMG operated. She was telling you directly how they operated. And that same family that so many masses of people claim to care about because they don't want to hear the truth, those are the same families that have been stolen from that Angie was trying to feed. Those are the same families that she was trying to feed. What do you mean think of the family? She was thinking of the family when she went out there and told the truth about UMG's fucking practices. She was thinking of her family. Her family must have been all she was thinking about, getting out there, performing, still knowing she was fucking sick. That must have been all she was thinking about. And given the amount of illnesses that woman had, there is a part of me that thinks that Angie was gang stalked, like, but it was a long time. It was a longer time than we all thought, I think. I think Angie Stone, this is speculation on my part, but I think Angie Stone might have been gang stalked by the time, like long before like the D'Angelo thing. I think it's when she kind of, just before she came out as a solo artist, I think she might have been gang stalked then, or maybe she was gang stalked just before she ended up with D'Angelo. I think it might have happened then. I could be wrong about that, but I think it might have happened then, because you have to check the timelines, the timelines of when she said she was healthy. She might have had pre-existing conditions, but the timeline of when she said she was healthy to the timeline where she started like having health problems and gaining weight. I know from experience that there are certain symptoms that can be caused by remote electronic weaponry. You have to remember that Donny Hathaway was also subject to electronic torture, and especially psychologically, to the point where unfortunately he ended his life. I think that Angie was subjected to the more physical aspects of gang stalking, remote weaponry. And I think that because she didn't really care about the smear campaigns that were being engineered against her, I mean, she did, but it didn't stop her from performing. It didn't stop her from getting out there. It did not stop her. She was Teflon. Angie was Teflon. It wasn't going to stop her. So I think because, you know, the credibility that they tried to impair when it came to Angie Stone didn't really have an effect. Not on the public anyway. The public still loved her. Because, her illness didn't stop her, because again, a lot of TIs will tell you that when we exercise, when we do good things for our bodies, when we engage in things that we enjoy, that's when the remote energetic weapons hit. That's when they're fired on us, right? So the smear campaigns didn't matter to her. She was still able to continue, and the public still loved her. The fucking, even stuff that was true, like her dating 19-year-old D'Angelo when she was 31, and, her punching her daughter in the mouth and loosening her tooth. Like, those things are true, but nobody cared, right? So they couldn't get to Angie through smear campaigns. They couldn't even get to Angie through what she actually did do. They couldn't get to her through that. They couldn't get to her through illness, which they most likely caused from electronic weaponry. They couldn't get to her through that. So they basically, what they did is they engaged in more direct methods of killing her. That's essentially what they did. This is the thing about Mula people, right? Mula Sun people, or Mula anything people. They are made of fucking Teflon, and Mula and Sagittarius, right? They are like, they have the reputation of being unkillable. And that's not true. It's not true. Anybody's killable. But there's something in particular about Mulas that are incredibly tough. And Angie exemplified that. Not just her, DMX too, because in spite of everything that he was going through, in spite of the apparent drug addictions, in spite of the industry trying to beat him down and make him into something that he wasn't, in spite of all of that, he still won at the end of the day. And he was still able to get the truth out there. So DMX is the same way. Like, if they cannot get to you through more covert means, they will get to you through more direct means. Unfortunately for the likes of UMG though, when they go the more direct route, it reinforces everything that those Moolah people, and especially Moolah sons, were saying the whole time. It happened to Kim Porter, it happened to DMX, and now this has happened to Angie Stone, and this is especially going to be quite damning for UMG and all the corporations associated with it. This is especially going to be damning for them because Angie was clear. She was not vague. She was not symbolic. She said they're stealing money from me. She said there are legal implications to that. All that type of stuff, right? And she exposed that right online when she was talking to R.I.P. Shaw, and she left him that text message talking about how Quincy needed to come home to his daddy. You know, R.I.P. Shaw's his real dad, and at the moment he was Sean Combs, right? Well, he was until Sean Combs went to jail. You know, he talking all that stuff about how we need, you know, how Quincy needs to come home. Angie was very unambiguous, and I'm sorry, but now that she's passed, I don't know if her spirit is still lingering at the moment, but she secretly got, if her spirit is still lingering, she's secretly got to be thanking herself for how honest she was, because now there is no question. Now there is no question. Now there is absolutely no question. You know what I mean? So yeah, she was murdered. And Jaguar Wright, even though I don't trust Jaguar Wright ever since Sonia Massey, Jaguar Wright said something about the gematria. And again, this is exactly why I said I should have saved this for Justice and Astrology, because the gematria, another TI told me about it. The gematria is where they use the science of numbers to determine when the right time is to do something. And in this case, we're talking about the right time for somebody to die or the right time to sacrifice somebody. So Jaguar Wright was talking about the gematria and was talking about the fact that Angie Stone was possibly a sacrifice. Now, I think that maybe it ended up that way. I think it ended up being a sacrifice, but truth be told, I think they just killed her. I think when it came to Angie Stone, they just killed her. They just wanted to kill her because, you know, they didn't want to pay her that amount of money. Drake got off lucky. Drake got off very lucky. But I think, you know, I genuinely think that they just killed Angie. They just killed Angie, and they decided amongst themselves, okay, seeing as we're going to kill her, we might as well make the most of it and make sure it's in line with the gematria, because they already made up their minds that she was going to die the second she came on live and said that UMG was stealing money from her. She named names. Angie stayed, like if you listen to her interview on the Breakfast Club, she stayed naming names. She was not vague. She named names. So since she came out and talked about UMG, I think that the decision was already made that she was going to die. It was just a matter of when they were going to kill her. So I think that Angie Stone was just a sacrifice in name only. I think they were always going to kill her, unfortunately. You know? And as for that van, how is everybody in that van alive except for her? Again, everything about Angie Stone's death and her life was completely unambiguous. Completely unambiguous. So if people choose to go down the route of, oh, think of her family, they're full of shit. If people choose to go down the road of, oh, it's just another conspiracy theory, they're full of shit. If they choose to go down the road of, oh, you know, no one needs to hear about this stuff, you're tarnishing her legacy, they're full of shit. Angie herself was very unambiguous about how her reputation, how her reputation was tarnished, how her legacy was being upended by a bunch of fucking rich bastards who wouldn't pay her fucking money. At that point, if she herself is laying out all the facts for you to digest, and you are still saying, think of the family, this is just another conspiracy theory, you all sound crazy. If we're still going there, You're full of shit. In fact, the way UMG planned that death, like I said, America's not subtle. America don't do nothing subtle. But the way they planned that death, the way that death happened is the same way Aaliyah's death happened, right? The way that death happened was so fucking obvious that it is tantamount to the people who killed Angie Stone laughing in your faces. At this point, the people responsible for trafficking celebrities and murdering celebrities, they are laughing in everyone's faces. And they're right to. The people who killed Angie Stone, they know that the rest of the public will choose entertainment and distraction first before they choose anything else. They know that people are petty and disingenuous, and they're right. You don't amass the kind of money that the likes of Lucian Grange amasses. You don't amass the type of money that the likes of Clive Davis amasses without knowing who people are, without knowing not only who we are, but who we fucking pretend to be. There is no way that these people don't know us better than we know ourselves. They know what our buttons are. They're not, well, they're not smart, but they're cunning. They know what our buttons are. They can kill somebody right in front of us, murder somebody right in front of us in a way that is so obvious, it's unmistakable. And there are still people who are going to be like, oh, well, maybe it's not how it looks. Maybe it's exactly how it looks, bitch. Damn. Maybe it's exactly how it looks, and maybe you're playing yourself. And don't let Kendrick Lamar fool you either. He might have genuine disdain for the industry that he's in, but he's still in it. He might be thinking of the long game. He's like, knowing him, he's thinking of the long game, which is why he's still there. He's not being led by his emotions, which is why he's still there. But don't let Kendrick fool you. Don't let any of them fool you. This whole thing was a setup. Drake's lucky to be alive. Like with all the allegations that have come out against him, now I know. If they really wanted to kill Drake, they would have done. They didn't want to kill him. They just didn't want to pay him that 400 milli. UMG just didn't want to shell that out. They still wanted him there though. They still wanted to make money from him. They just didn't want to pay him that contract. At this point, everything is in our faces. Not like us. In our faces. All of it is in our faces. And we still choose to act like this is just organic, normal shit. We choose to be this way at this point. Actually, I shouldn't say we. I don't choose that shit. I don't choose that shit. I don't choose fucking, I don't choose like border wars. I don't choose fucking culture wars and border wars over the truth. So I can't speak for myself. But the majority of the masses, they seem to prioritize that over what's actually going on. I've been saying that the truth about what's going on is right in front of your face. It's about targeted individuals. What is done to targeted individuals is used to supplement everything that's going on with the masses, the culture wars, the racial wars, the gender wars, all of that has been facilitated by the kind of gang stalking that Angie Stone was subjected to. It's right there. And still, even when it's completely unambiguous, even when it's completely direct, no one seems to care. That reveals more about the public. It reveals more about the public than it ever did about the Lucian Grangers and Clive Davises of the world, because they can only work with what's there. They can only shape humanity based on what is already there. They can't make us petty. They can't make us disingenuous. They can't make us non-caring and not willing to look at the truth. They can't make us like that. They can't make us this way. All they can do is like lead the path. Like all they do is set the stage. We're the ones writing the play. The devil never gets involved directly. The devil always sets the stage. Why do you think I went on Empress Justice? I think it was Empress Justice Tara, yeah. Why do you think Empress Justice Soul? I said, you got to set your own stage, because these motherfuckers, these corporations are setting our stage. In fact, it's not our stage, it's their stage. And we're just up there writing plays, and if they don't like the play, they can kick us off. My God, think of Angie's family. The people saying, think of Angie's family. You don't even think of families that are right in front of you. You don't even think of families that are right in front of you. You don't even think of trafficking victims that are right in front of you. There's a reason why only 5 to 10 of trafficking victims, allegedly, only 5 to 10 trafficking victims out of God knows how many actually make it out alive. There's a reason for that. It's not because of the evil people of the world. It's because those evil people know how to work us, because we let ourselves be worked. Even when there's no question, we let ourselves be worked. And speaking of letting people be worked, now I got to get onto my gang stalking situation. Okay, so as like for the moment things are quiet, there's been a couple of things that I want to point out. So on Saturday I went to the co-op. I don't know, just to get a couple of bits and pieces, and I think one of the upstairs people were there while I was there, and they were talking about YouTube, and I'm like, why don't you go on YouTube? I'm like, okay. and then like somebody upstairs was like, fake laughing, because they fake laugh to impersonate me, right? Because I laugh pretty damn loud when I'm genuinely amused by something. So, they were fake laughing and talking about YouTube, and I'm and they want me to make YouTube videos because they want to know that the constant harassment that they're doing, or, the mind games that they're playing, is actually having an effect on me. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be honest. Their mind games are annoying, but not annoying in the sense that it makes me want to deck all of them. Annoying in the sense that, oh Lord, okay, it's like a tiny fly that you're eventually gonna kill, but like it's like they're still hanging around, and it's just like, bro, you're just delaying the inevitable at this point. And that's what, like, the gang stalking feels like right now. It's not always going to feel this way to me. I don't think it will always feel this way to me. There are times where, just like in November last year, there's going to be a time where I'm just fed up. And there's a time where, somebody's shit is going to get rocked at some point. But right now, for now, it's just annoying. Like, it's not even annoying on a level that makes me, hang on. Oh. Hello. Right. Sorry, that was a video, right? Not a video, delivery. So yeah, it's annoying in the sense that it's like, I just think the gang stalkers are just delaying the inevitable at this point, or trying to. And I did say that gang stalking is one of those things that brings diminishing returns. And I'm sorry, I've got to be real with you guys. I feel like the gang stalkers are desperately trying to hold on to this idea that they can, that me being upset is somehow going to make me wrong about any of this. And it's just not. I think they've got it into their heads that because I'm not reacting and because I'm not like giving them what they want, that I really do mean what I say. Like that I really, like all the videos that I've made talking about how gang stalkers are contributing to the world being shit, the enshittification of the world and genocide. I think, the gang stalkers think that because I'm not reacting that I mean what I say, but I've always meant what I said. I've always meant it. Like when I said that the gang stalkers were Nazis and, doing all that, I meant what I said and it was true. All of it was true. It doesn't matter if I deliver it, out of hurt or out of like bitterness. Like everything that's happening right now has happened in history already. Like I'm not saying anything new. I'm not like, I know that I'm psychic in a certain way, but I'm not this great oracle that like knows everything and about everything. I'm not. I'm simply somebody that understands history and understands human beings. I understand the way they work because I've had to for my own survival. So, I'm not quiet and calm because I mean what I say. I've always meant what I said, and I was always right. Even when I was sick, I still had more sense than any of these perps. And I still had more sense than the majority of the public. It has always been like that. Always. I might not have acted like I have more sense than everybody else, but I have more sense than a lot of other people. So, yeah. So, just because I'm calm, it doesn't mean that I meant what I said any more than I did when I was all over the place. Like I was right then and I'm right now. Doesn't make any difference. And even if we are going to talk about how I'm oh so calm now and oh so like, bro, like talking about YouTube and not even looking me in the face. Talking about YouTube and not even not even looking me in the face. Sorry. You can't even look me in the face. You want to talk about YouTube? You don't even talk to this whole village about what I talk about on YouTube. Like, be so fucking for real. The only time when you talk to anybody in this village about what I talk about on YouTube is behind closed doors. Don't just say, why do you go on YouTube? Talk about the whole thing. What am I saying on YouTube? What am I putting on my videos? Talk, baby, talk it all. Baby, talk it all. What am I saying? What am I saying and what is happening right now? Talk it all. Don't stop there. Because I do. When I say I'm going on YouTube and I'm talking my things there, I said to the police plain. I said I talk about gang stalking on my videos and it's my opinion that my neighbors are gang stalkers. I talked about that shit plain. You understand? There was no ambiguity in anything that I did. It's on my medical records. It's on my police records. There is no ambiguity. I have left no room for misinterpretation. Absolutely none. So don't just talk about my YouTube. Talk about the whole thing, you know? Talk the things. Talk the things. You know what I mean? Talk the things. Yeah, you have to talk the things, man. Talk the things. Talk it all. Taunt it all. Say it all. Mention it all. Like, why? Why are you like? Like, just mention the whole thing. The fuck? And this is the thing, right? What's obviously happening, right, is that the gang stalkers, what they're attempting to do in order to annoy me, right, is they're doing this thing. This is the thing that I've noticed that bigots do when it comes to progressives. Now that fascism is on the rise, and now that the bigots of society are getting exactly what they want, what they're doing now is, because they see everything that is going wrong, and because, like, predictably everything is going wrong and everything is going to shit because, you know, they won. Predictably, what they're doing now is that now they're focusing on owning the libs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now they're focusing on owning the libs, right? So don't focus on the policies. Don't focus on how wrong, how much worse everything has gotten since they got what they wanted. Like, let's not focus on how shitty their judgment is. Let's focus on owning the libs. So, you know, whenever the so-called libs or progressives start talking about, well, since you don't want DEIs, you know, it means that when we want to hire black, I mean, over in America anyway, since you don't want DEIs, if you want to hire black, we can hire black. Response: we're going to own the libs. We're going to own the libs. That's a little bit racist. We're going to own the libs. Like, every single measure that progressives and black and brown people will take, like, in response to the far right, like banding together and, you know, all that type of stuff, then it's just going to be about owning the libs. When they see that we are doing a lot better than they anticipated because they threw the whole country into chaos, all they can think about is owning the libs. And owning the libs means getting us upset. And the only way they're going to get us upset is if they weaponize their own stupidity, is if they weaponize their own irrationality. So they do that so that we'll be confused enough to go, oh my God, they're so stupid. Don't they understand? No, they understand that they fucked everything up. They get it. They know. They know they fucked everything up. They know everything is shit because of them. They know how much they've ruined the planet. But they want to weaponize, you know, your confusion against you, your confusion at their stupidity and their irrationality against you. They want to weaponize that so that you're more focused on that than the spectacular fuck-ups that they're responsible for. So the same way that bigots are focused on owning the libs, now the gang stalkers need to get me upset. They need to try to confuse me with their stupidity, try to confuse me with their irrationality, try to confuse me with their obsession, because that is all they have left. I said it was going to be all that they have left, and now it is. That is all they have left. Everything that TIs have been saying is coming to pass. Everything that we've ever talked about with regards to Nazism making a return. We're watching it unfold in real time. The US is now unofficially part of Axis powers. The US are the bad guys, right? Well, they're not really the bad guys. Like almost every country is the bad guy, but you know, the US are the bad guys now. They're the bad guys, right? They're the bad guys in this whole World War III scenario. They're the bad guys. Donald Trump is cozying up and making nice with dictators, bro. So yeah, everything that T.I. said would happen as a result of gang stalking, just like Angie Stone's death was facilitating, and God, actually, not just Angie Stone's death, But God knows how many other deaths that UMG and Arista and Clive Davis and Lucian Granger are responsible for. God knows how many deaths those people are responsible for that have been propping up the culture wars and the race wars that have been engendered by our entertainment. Just like the deaths of people like Angie Stone and DMX and Kim Porter, all led to this situation that we're looking at now. The deaths of TIs in the ordinary world has led to all the political dumpster fires that we're looking at right now. And the gang stalkers know that, and the perps know that. That's why they're in the co-op talking about YouTube. That's why they're upstairs fake laughing and talking about YouTube. That's why they're up there performing hexes on tarot readings. That was so stupid. I can't even believe it. Like, that's why they're doing all this. They're trying to weaponize their irrationality and their obsession and their stupidity against people to keep them confused enough to be like, oh my God, oh my God. Like, because as long as we're saying, oh my God, look at how stupid they are, we're forgetting what they actually did. We're forgetting what they actually contributed to. And this is the thing that I'm gonna get in a lot of progressives' asses, right? Not the ones that are hardcore left. The ones that are hardcore left already know what I'm talking about. But this is where I get into socially progressive people's asses now. Because the same way, this is what I see, the same way that that Trump will like openly say that Mexicans are scumbags, that he doesn't like black people, that he doesn't like Jewish people, but he prefers to work with them. Like the same way that he will say like direct shit out of his mouth, and the people that are fans of his will make excuses for him, is the same way that corporations will literally traffic and kill people, and the masses will make excuses for them as if these corporations aren't doing what they do in broad daylight. Even with the Me Too movement exposing God knows, even when the CAA exposed themselves so that they could ultimately take the heat off themselves, and it fucking worked. It doesn't matter how many times the corporations play in our face. It doesn't matter how much they play in our face. Like progressives and people who are socially progressive, they will turn around and reinterpret what the corporations are doing. They will turn around and reinterpret that as if it's not plain as day what these corporations are fucking doing. As if it's not plain as day what was done to Angie Stone. Even when Angie made it plain, even when UMG made it plain, even when the people who killed her made it plain, you're still over there like, well, it doesn't necessarily mean that. I just don't think it's that bad. Are you fucking stupid? How are you stupid and arrogant? What is going on? Like, what the fuck is going on when you're this dumb and you're this arrogant? What's going on there? And it's like you behave exactly the same way as those bigoted fuckweeds behave. But it's worse with you because you have like academia and education and, just basic wanting to know stuff on your side. So on the little bit that you do know, you think you know it all. It's arrogant as fuck and it's dumb. Ridiculous. I'm watching social progressives that are supposed to be intelligent really questioning, for instance, there's this one content creator that I actually really like, right? I actually really like. But they're sitting there doing this whole deep dive on Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian already showed you what she was. And by the way, Kim Kardashian is cozying up to Trump and Musk and all them people, because she's a social climber. That's what she does, right? So it's like, you're analyzing every aspect of Kim's motives. And I'm like, Kim Kardashian is a businesswoman before she is anything else. Why are you shocked by this? This is the same woman who hopped online and defended Jeffree fucking Star. And we're doing this deep dive like her actions and her motives are obvious. And I use that as an example because that is what progressives do. Like, making analysis out of obvious shit. They're showing you who they are. Why are we not showing people who we are? Why are we not showing these corporations who we are? Or maybe we are showing them who we are. Maybe we are showing them that we're not fucking serious. Maybe we're showing gang stalkers and these corporations. Maybe we're already showing them who we are. Maybe we're showing them we're not fucking serious. Whole time it's all like, nah, that's ridiculous. We're showing people that we're not serious. Just like the perp showed me over and over again. They show they're not serious. How the fuck are you going to be in my face talking about YouTube just because there's company around you? Because there's people around you? How are you going to go around to go to the co-op playing the victim with one of the employees there? How are you going to do that? You can't even look me in the face. You can't even be specific about what I said on YouTube. And that brings me to my next thing. There are people I know from Black Brighton Market who have unfollowed me because of everything that I said when it came to gang stalking and the evidence that I have on gang stalking. And they thought I wouldn't notice. They thought I wouldn't notice. But again, everything's indirect. Everything's behind closed doors. Everything is a fucking hint. Why is there a need for hints? I ain't dropped no hints. I'm direct about my shit to the point where I will talk to the same people who could have me sectioned at a moment's notice. I do it that way for a reason. So be direct. Don't hold back. If you want to defend your side, defend it. If you don't like it, come defend it. Dog, me say, come defend it. Defend it. If you want to defend your side, defend it. But defend it with your full chest. You want to come up in front of me talking about YouTube? I can match that back, baby. I can say, what did I say on my YouTube? Be specific now. And then you're predictably going to be stuttering like, you fucking psycho. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up, bro. What specifically did I say and how did you handle it? Please. Stop it. And then on top of that, the racial slurs that some people came up with like in recent months, as if those racial slurs aren't the reason why you're struggling to eat right now. Please. Please. The whole reason why you can't even pay your bills right now is because you're a bigoted piece of shit. And you're thinking that your stupidity and your irrationality is going to confuse me. You're talking to the same people. You're talking to the same person who has BPD up the wazoo and who wrote the book on self-sabotage. This is one bitch you can't confuse. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if the gang stalkers were talking about killing me already. Because if the hexes are not, well, I don't know if the hexes are going to work or not. If the hexes are not working in silencing me, hold on. If the provocation of my emotions are not silencing me, if accusing me of being mentally ill is not silencing me, then take for granted that the gang stalkers will probably try to find other ways around it. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if they've already been talking about killing me directly. more directly. I wouldn't be surprised if they've been talking about that. Because what other option do they have? Stealing from me? I can just get the stuff replaced. And sure, the stuff that I would have lost would have had sentimental value, but it would have had sentimental value from the same person that was betraying me to the gang stalkers and died because of it. And God knows how many handlers or like people like that have been around me. I don't know. Like the stuff can be replaced. Stuff can be replaced. Like what else are they going to do? What else are they going to do? Like they've done literally everything they can to make sure that I'm silenced and to make sure the truth isn't the truth, and nothing has worked. So I don't see what other option that they have but to try to kill me directly. I don't see what other option they have. It's not that I want that. I actually don't want that. It figures that I'm just starting to like myself. I'm just starting, well, not even starting to like myself. I fucking like myself now. I never used to. You know, I really do like myself. I think I'm a good soul. Well, not a good soul, but I think that the progress that I've made in my life, I can't deny. And it's not like I've done anything big. Like I've just set up a couple of channels, which barely gets views, but it's the internal strides that I've made that is just undeniable to me. And if it's undeniable to me and I'm literally my worst critic, I'm just saying, I like myself a lot. I don't like, I love myself. I loved myself before I liked myself, but I like myself a lot more than I used to. I really do. I really, really do. So believe me, I don't want to lose this person. I like this bitch too much. I like her way too much. I don't want to lose this bitch. It's a far cry from how I was feeling a year ago for sure, but I'm not trying. I don't like the idea of losing her. Not this person. I like her too much. But death itself, you know, it's not going to solve their problems. It might in fact be worse for them. So in terms of like them getting what they deserve, they're not gonna delay that. They're not gonna postpone it. They're not gonna stop it. They're not gonna stop it from happening. They're gonna want to stop it from happening, but they're not gonna stop from getting what they're supposed to get. It's just not gonna happen. If they kill me directly, like they probably want to, it's not gonna stop anything. And they know it. Because I've been direct. I haven't been vague about it. I've been honest. Everybody knows. There's a reason why I'm still able to do what I do and nobody's coming to me saying, Fabienne, why did you say this? Only one person has done that. And I wrote a whole essay detailing all the ways in which, it was months later, granted. But I detailed all the different ways and all the different reasons why I did what I did. I laid all my true feelings out on the line, all of it, to the point where it's undeniable. No one can come to me direct with it because they know exactly what they are involved in. If they come to me direct, it's like all bets are off. I did them a favor by backing out. I did them a favor. Let's be clear. Let's be absolutely clear. So, is it time for me to go? I think it's time for me to go. But I want to thank you guys for joining me. If you are a fellow TI and you've made it this far in the video, then please let me know how you guys are doing. I always want to know. And when it comes to Empress Justice Tarot, I'm going to endeavor, I'm not promising anything, but I'm going to endeavor to do the lunar eclipse reading tomorrow. I think that's the perfect time to do it. the lunar eclipse reading tomorrow, and I'm going to start on the 12 signs from Wednesday, because the lunar eclipse is going to be on the 14th. So, ta-ta for now. I love you guys so much, and yeah. We're gonna be more okay than you think. Mm-hmm. So, peace and blessings. Take care. Bye bye, my darlings.